Michelle Miller from CBS Saturday Morning, and welcome to The Dish. Today, we explore 4 restaurants across the Northeast United States serving up familiar dishes such as fried chicken and pasta like you've never seen them before. We visit a family-run pancake restaurant in remote Western New York that attracts diners from around the world, even though it's only open 9 weeks a year. And we meet Vermont's first James Beard award-winning chef who serves the home-style recipes she grew up with in northern Thailand. But we begin in New York City at Kokodok, a combination of the French and Korean words for chicken. Restaurateur Simon Kim pairs lowbrow food like the chicken nugget with highbrow touches including caviar and champagne. Dana Jacobson visited for a bite.
This restaurant, it completely has the look. A cathedral of chicken. Was that your intent?
That was my intent. I love fried chicken. Dana, do you like fried chicken?
I love fried chicken, yeah.
Who doesn't? And for those lucky enough to get a table at Kokodok, Simon Kim has created the swankiest of New York dining spots, all for that delectable finger food, like a golden chicken nugget.
This is where a chicken nugget.
Better than any chicken nugget I've ever seen. Oh my God.
Hope you enjoy it.
Oh my
And
gosh.
the creaminess and the saltiness of the caviar, it's so decadent.
It's fantastic. The idea of this, why these two? Is it because they are so different?
Yeah, it's kind of the power of and, right? It's the most lowbrow and the most highbrow and everything in between. I love that dynamic.
The power of and is a philosophy that Kim developed over years of straddling cultures and identities.
I came to America when I was 13 years old to New York, Long Island.
That had to be incredibly hard at age 13 to have your life upended like that.
It really was. So half of my root is in Korea.
Right.
And the other half of my root is in America. I felt like I fit into both places, but I didn't belong.
Right.
But as I became an adult and I kind of found myself, I realized I'm Korean and American. And I felt like that was a real aha moment.
But acclimating to America didn't come easily.
You'd have some fights with kids, standing up for yourself.
Right.
Later on, it was bar fights, maybe.
Right. During those times, when I was actually facing those challenges, it really hurt.
Right.
The racism really hurt. And I'm very grateful now that I fought through that because without those difficult times, without kind of overcoming those unfair moments, I feel like this American dream would not be possible.
In high school, Kim would go into the city to work as a busboy at his mother's Tribeca restaurant, Corey, laying the groundwork for his passion, hospitality. One he discovered after buying a one-way plane ticket to study in Las Vegas. Kim would soon return to New York, working under the likes of Jean-Georges and Thomas Keller.
Chef Keller taught me about the work ethics. There's no secret. It's about working harder than everybody else. Whereas Chef Jean-Georges, he taught me about magic. You know, this sense of magic, and he's such a charismatic.
He has that about him.
It really is. My mother taught me so much about having the balls to just
do
it.
In 2013, Kim set out on his own with Piora. The Italian restaurant earned him a Michelin star, but Kim thinks ultimately failed because it wasn't truly authentic.
I think I said it somewhere. My nonna never made me those pasta.
You didn't have a nona.
I had halmoni, which is a Korean word for grandma. It may take a little bit of time, but ultimately, the North Star should be inside of you.
He found that in Kote, combining the conviviality of the Korean barbecue he experienced with his father in Korea and the American steakhouse he fell in love with in New York.
Did you think it would be received here the way it has been?
I did, right? I'm biased. That's why I raised a bunch of money and I took the leap of faith. But I gotta be honest, I didn't know it was gonna be this much of a success. We received our first Michelin star in less than 5 months of opening, and it just kept on going.
For his follow-up, Kim's recreated a similar vibe just down the street at Kokodok, featuring a prefix menu Kim calls the bucket list. It starts with a chicken consomme and includes fried chicken, Korean side dishes, and noodles, all for just $38.
Here we are.
It is literally a bucket of chicken.
The chicken, pasture-raised on an Amish farm, air-chilled, battered in rice flour, and fried in a cultured oil, a method honed over 13 months of R&D. You can taste and hear the result.
So first bite. That crunch.
Paired perfectly with what else? Champagne. With Kim and his team putting together the largest list of bubbly in America.
You know what I mean? The effervescence,
Yes.
carbonation, the
it's
acidity.
crazy.
It's just you're ready for another bite.
Yes, I am.
For that next bite, more chicken. This time with soy garlic or spicy gochujang glaze.
Digging in.
And just as diners are settling in, cold Italian capellini noodles meant to perk you back up.
After your champagne and fried chicken.
Exactly. This kind of perks you up. Chef, what do we got?
We got the froyo.
Finally, to cap it all off, frozen yogurt.
Our pastry chef is our soft serve machine. And I also love highbrow, lowbrow moment. And some people think it's a little weird that the restaurant of our caliber serves our soft serve in a paper cup.
With the wooden spoon.
Yes.
It's the greatest.
It
Are
really
you kidding
is.
me? This is a moment of childhood right
Exactly. That nostalgia to me is so special. And I wanted to make sure this fried chicken, whether that is a steakhouse dinner, fried chicken dinner, ends with something that it makes you giggles. And so I love it brings a little bit of giggle. It's lighthearted
here. Mission
and it's refreshing.
accomplished.
Yeah.
Up next, what do you get when you combine Japanese cuisine with Italian food? A delicious trend gaining popularity in the U.S. At New Jersey's Pasta Ramen, you won't find straight Japanese or Italian food. Instead, you'll find a combination of the two. Wafu Italian has been popular in Japan for decades. Now this fusion of flavors and ingredients is growing in the U.S., enticing diners with dishes like mochi carbonara ramen. Nancy Chen sat down with Chef Robbie Felice to hear why he wants to give diners pause before digging in.
In this kitchen, a melding of tastes and techniques from thousands of miles apart. Ramen shrimp scampi with ponzu, tonkatsu porchetta, and pork chop scallopini. Curiosity alone about Japanese-style Italian cuisine, known as Wafu Italian, had diners buzzing here in Montclair, New Jersey, where as they step inside Pasta Ramen, they walk onto the streets of Tokyo.
Service.
Chef Robbie Felice.
When we hear the name Pasta Ramen, it's not like you're just making Italian recipes with ramen noodles.
No, absolutely not.
What the 32-year-old is making is fueling the fight for reservations months in advance.
If I make a Wafu Italian dish, I put you on the spot right away and say, is it Japanese or Italian? And if you have that slight pause for 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds, that's Wafu Italian, where you can't really tell me what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's been times where I create a dish and if someone just says, oh, it's Italian, then I'm like, oh, like, I messed up. I have to go back to the drawing board and I have to make this a little bit more Japanese. So I definitely think if there's that almost like slight confusion where someone can't tell what it is, then that means I did my job right.
Confusion never tasted so good. A signature dish, a chewy mochi carbonara ramen, tossed with sesame, togarashi, lemon, and Parmesan cheese, mixed tableside with egg yolk.
You can't just eat it like normal ramen. All right, there's a little slurpiness to it.
You gotta be able to slurp it.
Well, in Japan, that's a sign of appreciation of a good dish, is how much you slurp the food.
Yeah. Especially ramen.
Slurping isn't necessary for these noodles. Croquette ramen.
It's basically a deep fried ramen ball. So we take ramen and we mix it with basically a Wafu Italian bolognese. Ready?
I am. How do you do this? Just
Dive in.
bite into it? Oh, wow. That is not what I expected at all.
It's gonna be nice and ooey gooey when you bite into it, and then we're going over the top with a shabu shabu sauce, tons of fresh herbs and garlic, and then we just top it off with a little Parmesan Reggiano.
Unexpected flavors that help make the restaurant an instant hit. After training in 2 Michelin-starred kitchens, Felice, a James Beard nominee, was inspired to start Wafu Italian pop-ups before throwing open the doors to Pasta Ramen earlier this year. It's part of a wave of Wafu Italian restaurants showing up across the country. They've been opening to great acclaim in the past couple years especially. There's also inspiration from Italy's Italian-Japanese cuisine. That's where Felice first encountered it while training in kitchens.
You tried this food for the first time and you thought, I gotta do this.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I wasn't thinking anything of it. I was young, probably thinking about what am I gonna eat today because I have no money, just traveling around Europe. But I definitely tried dishes in Italy that had Japanese influences or Asian influences, but never really thought anything of it. Just like, oh, this is cool. They're putting yuzu on a crudo in positano. Obviously there's not yuzu here, but they're doing it.
His time there inspired dishes like cacio e pepe gyoza, handcrafted Japanese dumplings, stuffed with a blend of 4 cheeses.
Careful, it's hot. There you go.
There is no graceful way to eat that, but who cares?
A delicious celebration of the 2 powerhouse cuisines, oceans apart, blending together with plenty in common after all.
Well, cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
You'll find some of the best Thai food in the U.S. nestled in Vermont. It's SAP, Thai for delicious. Chef Nisa Sean Morgan grew up in northern Thailand and perfected her cooking skills in Bangkok restaurants. Now, Vermont's first James Beard Award winner uses authentic ingredients to create each made-to-order dish. Here's Jan Crawford.
In this small town in central Vermont, on top of a hill in an historic Victorian home, is a revelation. Here, in this tiny kitchen, with this well-worn stove, critically acclaimed chef Nisa Shanrung Morgan is creating some of the best Thai food in America.
Fish sauce?
Her kitchen staff totals 1, husband and co-chef Steve Morgan.
When you come into this restaurant, you're cooking and you're the line cook.
Yeah, we cook together.
You're the boss in the kitchen.
Every ingredient Rung selects for its authenticity. Every dish she makes to order, skills she learned cooking in restaurants in Bangkok. She and Morgan met online more than a decade ago, connecting over their shared love of food. To be together, Rung moved a world away.
It must have been hard at first to settle here.
I like, but I don't like cold,
You like Vermont, but not the cold.
Yeah, I don't like cold, but I like here. I like,
You've built a life here.
Yeah.
Blending their families, cooking the foods Rung loved was also her connection to home, and then inspiration.
I was like, honey, you should open your own restaurant. I think we would do well, and if you cook food from home, people will travel here for it.
So how did you feel about having a restaurant?
I'm happy, I don't have to thinking about I work for somebody,
You work for yourself now, not for somebody else.
Did not too soft.
The distinctive flavors and dishes are inspired by food Rung made and ate growing up in the Isan region in northern Thailand. It was there, during a visit, the couple came up with the restaurant's name.
We were sitting up in her mom's house, probably 13 of us sitting around a table, eating, and everybody was saying, sap, sap lai.
Sap, sap. When we eat food together with family, oh, this sap, oh, this sap.
And what does it mean?
Mean อร่อย อร่อย
Alloy in Thai.
Yeah, อร่อย Thai.
Delicious.
Yeah, that's delicious.
So sap in Isan means delicious. And that's the name of this restaurant.
Yeah.
But it also means something in Vermont, because there's syrup,
Right.
sap everywhere.
Right. Making maple syrup from sap. And so it made sense.
There's no maple syrup at SAP. All the dishes, the stir-fries, seafood, salads, and soups are authentic to Rung's region of Thailand, with a few additions, because Rung insisted that's what Americans would want.
I never cook ผัดซีอิ๊ว ผัดไทย
So some of the things that we think of here in America as being Thai food is not at all the kind of food that you grew up with. No pad Thai.
No.
We fought a little bit at the beginning.
You fought at the beginning?
Because I was like, we're not going to have pad Thai on the menu.
Oh, you wanted it to be more authentic.
Yeah.
So you're like, no pad Thai, none of these Americanized dishes. But you said, We want dishes Americans want to eat.
I think because I think American people love pad thai.
I want this to be my last meal when I die.
Bruce Johnson told us he's eaten at SAP more than 100 times, driving almost an hour each way.
How's it different than a Thai restaurant?
It's not only home-style cooking, but she cooks with what she has.
Roong's talents now have taken her places she never could have imagined.
Tell me, when you got nominated for the James Beard Award, did you ever think you would win?
James Beard, I don't know, I don't know how big, how that. Now
So you didn't realize it?
Yeah, I don't know, but my husband said, oh, big.
Nisha Chan Morgan.
James Beard Award.
You won.
My husband cried.
You cried?
Yeah.
She is the first person in Vermont to win Best Chef in the Northeast. The award validated her belief, if you cook what you love, people will come.
You've totally improved on everything. You think it's familiar, and then you taste and you're like, I've never tasted anything like that before.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's delicious. It's sap.
It's sap. Yeah, it's sap.
After the break, a world-famous pancake house opened just 9 weeks a year. Cartwright's Maple Tree Inn in Western New York has been serving their famous buckwheat pancakes and fresh maple syrup for over 60 years. But the family business didn't start with a restaurant. The Cartwrights have been selling maple syrup since the 1850s. That's why they're only open 9 weeks a year, during maple syrup topping season. Nancy Chen sat down with 2 generations of the Cartwright family, matriarch Virginia and her daughter Rhonda, to learn why the business still thrives.
At Cartwright's Maple Tree Inn in the village of Angelica, New York, the maple syrup flows freely and the pancakes sell like, well, hotcakes. Despite being more than an hour away from the nearest city, the restaurant has been attracting customers near and far since 1963.
Pancake, sausage, and the 2 eggs.
Lines wrap around the entrance even before opening, all eagerly awaiting the family recipe.
Is it a secret?
Yes.
Can you
Very
give me
much so.
any hints?
No.
We sat down with 2 Cartwrights, Rhonda Cartwright Amadon and her mom, the family matriarch.
Can I help?
Nope.
At 92 years old, Virginia Cartwright still leads the breakfast spot her late husband Ronald founded more than 60 years ago.
It just gives you a warm feeling, to think that you've got a product that people will drive this far to have a taste of it.
Since opening, the menu has remained simple and affordable, rich in tradition. Their famous maple syrup, tapped and produced on site, poured over endless plates of all-you-can-eat buckwheat pancakes. With 1,200 visitors on their busiest days, it takes Rhonda only 3 minutes to make 100 pancakes.
Have you been surprised by how much someone can actually have?
Definitely. I can't predict. I have had elderly ladies sitting at the counter, and I think that they will, I figure maybe they'll eat one more.
Sure.
16.
16.
So I've learned to never underestimate somebody on how much that they will eat.
What makes these pancakes perhaps even sweeter is knowing they're limited edition. The Maple Tree Inn is only open 9 weeks out of the year to coincide with the maple syrup season from February to April. And for those 2.5 months, it's all hands on deck for the Cartwrights. 4 generations coming together to pitch in, and everyone has a job.
Yes, 3rd generation, and she's 4th.
Everybody is sacrificing something to be here and to do this, but when you hear a customer say, thank you for being here, thank you for doing this, I got to bring my great-grandchild today, it's like, how can you not do it?
Their pancakes have helped put them on the map, but the family started their business with just maple syrup, which they began producing in the 1850s. Today, they place more than 10,000 maple tree taps every year, a tradition carried on by Laverne Cartwright. He offered to show us the ropes.
And hit right here.
Okay, just hit.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, this one's ready. Yeah, it has a lot of sap coming out. And do you just leave it and let it collect overnight?
Yeah. Overnight, they'll fill right up.
Here you go.
Of course, the trip wouldn't be complete without trying the pancakes myself. So I figured, why not give the all-you-can-eat challenge a try?
Okay, we're gonna get serious about this.
A decent showing with 4 delicious pancakes.
Everything is so good.
Enough to realize the magic of Cartwright's goes far beyond the plate, and enough to count myself among the hundreds of thousands of satisfied customers.
Virginia, do you think you've served everyone in this county?
Well, I thought I'd served everybody in the United States, but I guess there's a few I haven't.
But you will?
Yes. We'll keep going till we do.
For more stories like these and live coverage of breaking news, stream us right here on CBS News 24/7. I'm Michelle Miller. We'll see you next time for another helping of The Dish.